Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is use a knowledge organiser to recap some of the knowledge that we've learned about rhetoric in Year 7. Make sure you have a copy of the knowledge organiser in front of you. And it would also be really helpful to have a highlighter to hand too. So this knowledge organiser covers some of the key content that you will have learned about in the unit on rhetoric and persuasion last year. This is the important knowledge that we want you to carry over into Year 8 and beyond, and also it's going to allow us then to build further knowledge on top of. We are, however, aware that it's been quite a while since you studied this unit, so it's likely that we will have forgotten some of the content. We're going to use some time this lesson to revise and use one of our strategies for revision in order to recap some of the things we're less confident in using. So one of the strategies we're going to use is similar to that which we used when we were preparing for our last knowledge quiz. We're going to use our highlighter to highlight the information that you think you might struggle to remember. Remember, we can't highlight everything on here, so I would look through each section one at a time and then highlight the key terms, words or rhetorical figures and devices that we think we would struggle to answer a question on. So you might want to pause the video here and spend around 5 minutes or so going through your knowledge organiser, highlighting the things that you think you would like to focus on and recap. Remember, this may be very different to the person sitting next to you, and that's okay. So you need to carefully read the information and make sure the things you choose are the things you want to revise. Now that we've chosen some of the content to focus on, we're going to narrow down even further. We're going to set ourselves 5 self-quiz questions that we can test ourselves on next lesson. In order to do that, we need to use the information in the knowledge organiser to formulate a question. I know we practiced this last term, but I think it's a good opportunity to model the process again. So don't write your questions yet, pop your pens down, and look at how I use the knowledge organiser to create myself some questions. So I have chosen the word tenacious. Tenacious means someone or who keeps a firm hold of something. So there are 2 ways I could ask this question. I could ask this: what does the word tenacious mean? And that would be a good question because I could find the exact answer back in the knowledge organiser. The answer being someone who keeps a firm hold of something. But I could also write it another way. I could ask, which word means someone who keeps a firm hold over something? And if I formulate my question the other way round, that can also be a good way to help me recall the word and definition. So which word means, write the definition, should prompt you to recall the word. So there are 2 ways of testing myself on the same piece of information. Equally, I can just choose a rhetorical device, such as antithesis. So, what is antithesis? But also, I could say which device means, device is, and use the definition, the pairing of opposite words in a sentence. Oh, my pen's struggling here. Okay. So again, there are two ways for me to test myself on the knowledge, and both answers can be found directly in the knowledge organiser. So it's over to you. We're going to pause the video here, and you're going to spend some time creating yourself 5 quiz questions. Off you go. Okay, so before we continue, let's have a look at some other rhetorical devices that we might need to recap. I would like you to match up the devices, the names on the left-hand side, with their definitions on the right. Pause the video and have a go at that now, please. Okay, so a rhetorical question, we can match that to a question that does not require an answer. A list of 3. These are a list of 3 words in a row, usually adjectives. Repetition, that is using the same word more than once or twice. And simile, that is comparing one thing to another using the words like or as. Okay, now we have recapped, we're ready to watch 2 persuasive speeches. These ones actually come from big blockbuster movies, 300 and Independence Day. So the purpose of each one is to motivate people into joining together to defeat an enemy. As you watch, I'm going to ask you to decide which one you think is most effective, but you must be able to justify your choice. Your teacher will be able to play you the 2 clips now, and we will be exploring them more together next lesson. If you're accessing this at home, you'll be able to find links to the 2 videos on Show My Homework. Okay, now that you have watched the 2 videos, I want you to say which one you think was most effective. Remember, they're from 2 very different films, but both are similar in the way that they're trying to encourage people to join together and fight for the same cause. When you're justifying your answer, you need to say, I think that the speech. So you need to say which film it comes from. I think that the 300 speech, for example, is most effective because you're going to give a clear reason why. You can't just stop there though. I'd like you to back that up with 2 things that you thought was effective. So not only do they do this, but also this as well. You may wish to discuss this with a partner first, before you write down your opinion in your exercise book. Okay, once you've done that, we've come to the end of the lesson. Thank you for listening, Year 8, and I hope you have a really good day.